Okay, so I think we're now live, huh? We are now live. So I'm trying to share the broadcast a bit before I do the actual introduction, and before we kickstart our conversation, our discussion for today. So I'm trying to make sure that I share the the video on various platforms so that people may be able to join us in. Yeah. Anyway, how are you doing? Good morning, guys.
Good morning. I'm doing great, and you?
I'm all right. Dean, you're doing good?
Yeah, just feeling the weather.
Oh, what's up with the weather? It's very cold that side.
Yeah, it's extremely cold, by the way. I miss home actually. You are friends. You have plenty of sunshine there. Can you share some with us?
Yeah, for real. We've got a lot of sunshine here. Wish we could share with you guys. I'm very much sure it's cold because that side when it's cold, it's seriously cold. Very
Yeah.
cold. Huh? Okay, so I'm trying to see if the people that are joining us. But anyway, I feel that maybe some people are already joining us on the live broadcast, and I think we can kickstart our discussion for today. So I'm just going to try to look at the topic that we're supposed to be discussing today, and then we can quickly start. Okay, so maybe before we start, I would love to start with Edwin Sifukwe. Maybe Edwin Sifukwe, kindly introduce yourself to the to people before we go into the discussion, so that they know about Edwin Sifukwe. Who is Edwin Sifukwe? What is he all about? Yeah, let the people know before we go directly in today's discussion.
Well, thank you very much. My name is Edwin Sifka, by the way. I'm actually an aspiring nuclear power engineer. Yes, I will be doing my studies, my tertiary studies in nuclear power engineering and thermophysics. Yes, in Russia. Yes, and my passion for this field of study actually started when I heard that Zambia signed a memorandum of understanding with Russia and that they'll be going nuclear as a plan of the alternative source of energy. So that's a brief description about myself. Thank you very much.
Yeah, okay, interesting. Um, so maybe that's a very good introduction. Huh? Dean Sichilima, maybe a brief introduction about yourself, and maybe just to tell people who you are and what you're studying, which university, and so that people get to know before we just go into today's discussion.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Caleb. My name is Dinsia Chilima, as he has already stated. I grew up in Chawama and I spent part of my time in Chilanga. That's where my parents live. And growing up, I was actually more curious about science and I fell in love with it. And I did more of my research into radiations and I found out about this program. And I believe this is one way to go for the country. So I volunteered into it, I pioneered, and currently I'm in Russia at MEVI, National National Nuclear Research University, studying nuclear power engineering and thermophysics. I think in this statement, that's what I would say.
Okay,
Yeah.
would you want to say further, or maybe that's all?
I'm not much good about talking about myself, but maybe about what I believe.
All right, okay, I see. So, there's really been much talk about Zambia's nuclear space, in relation with how Zambia wants to go nuclear. We've been hearing this for quite some time now. It's been something that's been on the trend, students going to do nuclear courses, going abroad to study nuclear science. And when you talk of nuclear science, actually it's got multiple fields in it. It's just I would say nuclear science is just a general term, but it incorporates a lot of fields in there. It's more like nuclear science is just the sub topic, but it's a general term. But there are a lot of courses incorporated in nuclear science. So a lot of people want to know about on nuclear science. A lot of people they're very concerned. Okay, why should I study nuclear science? I've heard a lot about people saying there's no future for nuclear science. There's no future for people that want to do nuclear science in Zambia. And um, you get to wonder, and some youths are discouraged by that, and they're like, okay, am I going to find a job? But for the science sector and for the development and advancement of STEM, I believe as a science enthusiast, someone who loves science very much, it is a very good way to go. But we need expertise in these fields, people that are studying this course, and maybe people that want to go study this course, so that they bring us that insights, that people get to know what this nuclear science study is all about. So just to start with, I'm going to throw in this first question, and I don't know who's going to pick it up between the two of you, but I want you guys to give me your perspective concerning this subject matter. So I would start with and ask this question: does nuclear science benefit Zambia in any way? Does nuclear science benefit Zambia in any way? So I don't know who's going to pick it up first, but I would love to get your view on this.
Okay, Dean will take it up. Then when he explains everything, I'll explain the list.
Okay, that's again a very nice question. And it says actually Zambia does, and not only Zambia but the whole world at large. In fact, everything in the future has something with nuclear to do with it, or something nuclear related. Just to give a brief introduction of what nuclear idea is, it's more of like we are studying the atom itself. Now, what the nucleus of the atom can do. That is what nuclear science is all about. And nuclear science, it ranges from everywhere, starting from the supermarket. Whenever you enter the supermarket, there are those detectors. Whenever they want to do a search, they use the nuclear science. Even in the hospitals, you have x-rays, you have everywhere. So if there is a future for nuclear, that is a definite yes. Everywhere there is nuclear.
All right.
Okay.
I'll pick it up from there. My explanation will actually be broken down into sectors. Yeah, first of all, I'll talk of the most important sector of our economy, which is the energy sector. And without doubt, we all know that nuclear science plays a role in the energy sector, in the sense that it will help to produce nuclear energy, which is a very affordable source of energy. And if you talk about nuclear energy, we only use small amount of isotopes will actually produce a huge megawatts of power. So nuclear power will actually be one of the alternative source of energy in Zambia. That is in the energy sector. And it will help also curb the power shortages we are currently facing. Going to the health sector. Currently, there was a news that there was a musician from Malawi who came here in Zambia for cancer treatment, actually, and that person didn't have enough money for the treatment. Therefore, a friend, that guy who sang Mapulani Yanga, yeah, he donated money for the guy's treatment. Meaning, for cancer treatment, they used nuclear science because when you talk of the cancer disease hospital at UTH, it came in Zambia in 2006 through the help of the International Atomic Energy Agency. Without the International Atomic Agency, there will be no nuclear or the cancer disease hospital in Zambia. But that is possible because of nuclear science. And now look at it from that perspective. That guy brought money here in Zambia because of the same nuclear science. But there's a problem. These isotopes, we don't actually produce them here. Instead, we import them from countries like India and South Africa. But if the future nuclear engineers, would study this course, That means we'll be able to produce our own isotopes here within the country. Therefore, we will reduce expenditure on these isotopes and use that money for other developmental programs. That is in the health sector. Away from the health sector, I'll talk about the agriculture sector, which is the most important sector of our economy. There was a news that Zambia was actually banned by South Africa from selling its honey. Yeah, its honey, locally known as uchi or uchi. Yeah, it was banned. This was because Zambia's honey wasn't gamma irradiated. What is gamma radiation? Gamma radiation, this is a part of nuclear science, of course. Therefore, if we can have a nuclear research center here in Zambia, that will mean we'll be able to gamma radiate our fruits, and therefore they will be accepted at the international market, meaning we'll have foreign exchange here in the country. That is the economic wise. Away from the Away from the agriculture sector, also talk about the petroleum industry. You've heard of Tazama pipeline. Yeah, this pipeline which transport petroleum actually. Yeah, but when there are leakages on the pipeline currently without nuclear technology, what happens is this pipeline is closed for years, meaning there will be no exportation of petroleum. But with the nuclear science coming in place, many will use the nuclear science technologies to just detect where the leakages are exactly, meaning we'll be able to repair our pipeline very fast and efficiently. That's another advantage of nuclear science. I won't talk much. I'll save some for the next question. I know there are more questions to come. Thank you very much.
Yeah, okay. I love. I must say that I am impressed, and I believe even people that are watching are actually more impressed. I love how you guys are coming out and addressing most of these issues. You've talked about how nuclear science is going to be of help to a country, and I believe going into the future and looking at how Zambia is with current load shedding and some sectors which are lacking, I believe going nuclear is one of the very best alternatives that we can have on the table, because we're really going to have a lot of options in terms of look at power deficit now. Hydroelectric power, actually, with this climate change, what if we don't have rains in a particular season? And then that means that we are going to have a deficit of electricity. But if we have nuclear science, which actually doesn't depend on things like climate, I think that would really be good. That would really be good. Okay, but now
Yeah.
I want to ask you guys, because you guys are actually experts in this field, and I'm just a guy who's an enthusiast of science, and yeah, someone who's interested in science, but not really a guy that knows more about nuclear science. But you guys being people that are actually going into these fields, and Dean being one of the people that are actually pursuing a degree in this field of nuclear science. Dean, I've actually been quizzed by a lot of young students, a lot of young pupils that want to venture into this course, but they're doubts. They've got doubts. They're like, okay, this project of the Nuclear Research Center, it's been on the cards for years now. The government has been saying they're restarting this project. But now, looking at you, you're going to be back in Zambia in the next 4 to 5 years. Now, is there assurance of a job when you come back? Dean, I'm actually directing this question to you. Is there assurance of a job when you come back from Russia, when you're done studying in the next 5 years? Is the Nuclear Research Center going to be ready? Are the facilitations on? What's happening on the ground? Zambia is going nuclear, yes, and which is very good. We're sending students in Russia to go study courses of nuclear science. But now, on the ground, in relation to our country, what are we doing in terms of like, what are we putting in place? Do we have the equipment? Do we have the buildings to run the nuclear projects that we're embarking on? Dean.
Okay, that's a nice question and a tricky one indeed. Okay, so one thing I can say, I cannot say with much certainty, because I'm not one of the people who are on the head group of this program. But there are certain things I can say, that this program is affected by certain factors. I would like to say, let me just try and categorize all the factors in 4. four groups. The first group is politics. Yeah, as we may know, like we are also having elections now and stuff like that. So we might not be sure if the new government that will come in will go with or without the idea. And the second factor is businessmen. Because one thing we know, even if the politicians don't agree that government can go with this idea, but as a business person, you can also venture into this idea. It's a great idea. And also, so business people also have an impact on that. Then third thing, it's how the community will take it. If there will be positive response from the community, that is so well and so good. Then the fourth one, that is the most important thing. It's us ourselves, the ones who are getting the education. How determined are we? So you asked about a job. Is so far all we know is that 70% is indicating that there will be a job with or without the research center. But even if the job is not there, this is from me, because there is one thing I believe is, if something is not there, you have to put it there. One way of overcoming fears is confronting them. So
Yeah.
whether I find a job or not, I will still create my own job in the same space. I don't know if that satisfies the question.
Okay, that I love the optimism. Huh? You create the job for yourself, even if there's no job. And actually, I believe one of the things that one of the abilities that science enthusiasts have is actually to create for themselves an innovative way of making money. And the other day, we had an interesting podcast on our YouTube channel where one of our guys were discussing entrepreneurship and STEM. A lot of people think that when you're done with education, it's about get the job there and then apply. You get employed by the government and you start earning and stuff. But again, the truth is that you need to create for yourself. You need to be innovative enough for you to be able to to start creating income. And you've talked about how you're going to create a job for yourself, and which is very good. And these are the skills that people need to have. When you talk of science, the reason why the science sector has lagged behind over the years in our country is that most of these engineers and most of us people that are aspiring or in these fields of science, we actually look at the government and say, okay, if they don't give me a job, then I'm doomed. But again, as part of the agenda of being a scientist is creativity. And when I talk about creativity, I mean you're supposed to be able to create opportunities for yourself. You're supposed to be innovative enough, make a project that's going to actually convince the government to say, okay, let's adopt this project. Maybe this project, if
Yeah.
adopted, can really be of help. Now, the question that I just asked you, Dean, which has been answered very well, I would love it to shift. I would love to shift it to Edwin, and I'd love to get a different perspective, because I believe even people out there want to get different perspectives of the story. You've said, okay, this is what you would do, but Edwin, given in your circumstance, how would you respond to the question that I earlier posed concerning job creation, concerning certainties, concerning equipment on the ground? What's happening on the ground? The research center, how far are we going concerning that space?
All right, thank you very much for that interesting question. Yeah, I've actually had the chance of meeting one or two people who actually work at the Zambian Atomic Energy Agency, which is actually a government organization that is looking at all the nuclear programs across the country. So I met one of the person who works that side, and I had an intellectual discussion with that person. Um, the way, okay, first and foremost, before I proceed to a discussion, that person did electrical engineering at bachelor's degree, and he did nuclear power engineering at master's degree in Russia. Now, what the person was telling me was that he shifted from electrical engineering to nuclear faculty so that he can actually have the opportunities of getting a job. Because when he was an electrical engineer, he didn't have any chance of finding a job. But then again, he shifted to nuclear science so that he can broaden the opportunities. Then I asked the question to say how? How? Because people are doubting there will be no jobs. What the guy told me is that right now he's working in the nuclear science. He graduated nuclear power engineering and thermophysics in Russia and is currently working at Zambian Atomic Energy Agency. Now, look, this is the board that is looking at all nuclear courses in Zambia. And now, this board has a platform, rather, the organization have plans. They have strategic plans, so to say. And I have a list of the strategy of the program of the strategic plan. One of the strategic plan was saying that they will be actually sending students, if at all the nuclear or the research center won't be there by the time these people will be graduating. They will be sending these students. They'll be having the agreement with other countries, for example, like Russia, Australia, countries across the world. Then they'll be sending these guys who will be graduating that side so that they gain extra experience as they come here in Zambia when the nuclear power plant will be there or when the research center will be there. That's number one strategic plan they have aligned there. Secondly, there is another organization in Zambia called the Radiation Protection Authority that is also looking at the nuclear science. It's part of the nuclear science. Again, that organization has a strategic plan of trying to expand it so that they can employ more people. Looking at people who are doing these courses outside the country. So they will be expanding the organization so that at least they can accommodate 30 to 40 people, which is a positive news again. Then we went ahead with our discussion with that person who's actually working at Zamato. He said that the groundbreaking of the project has actually started, but they can't go ahead with the project minus having the skilled personnel. That was the condition given to them by the International Atomic Agency. Zambia is not only alone in this program. There is the International Atomic Agency at large, which is giving conditions to Zambia in order for them to go ahead with this program. Yeah. So if let me talk over again. The other thing is the bill. The bill, nuclear science bill. It is still in parliament. It's still debated upon. It's not yet finalized. So they're also looking at the finalization of the bill. They can't go ahead with the nuclear power plant, or rather with the research center, without the bill being finalized. Look at Rwanda to give an example. They sat in parliament, about 98 members of parliament in Rwanda. They sat in parliament debating over the nuclear science bill in Rwanda, and 96 of them voted for the bill, and only two voted against the bill. That means that was a positive result, and they went ahead with the construction of the nuclear center. Right now, as I'm saying, Rwanda is constructing a center, is expecting a center for science. Why? Because the bill was finalized. Here in Zambia, the bill was not yet been finalized due to political issues. So we can't go ahead with the construction of the bill. But otherwise, looking at the job, it's promising. So to say, it's promising. I think I'll save the other for the next question. Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay,
Uh,
interesting. Actually, I love how you guys are just answering the questions, and I'm very much sure the audience is being satisfied because a lot of questions here that have been asked are actually meant to address the people out there. So maybe just before we continue, I'd love to just read a few comments that have been slotted in. Some comments that are just coming in by people, and yeah. Okay, so there's Terence Speary here. Go guys. And Terence Speary, actually a guy who's in Russia, a very good guy. Huh? Thank you very much, bro, for the support. Really
thanks.
appreciate. And then there's Nicola Gondwe, who's also following. Nicola Gondwe, thank you very much again for the support. We really appreciate the mad love and the support that you guys are showing.
It's
And
one of
again,
my classmates.
and again, Nicola Gondo with a reaction there. Adrian, my boy, keep it up. Yeah, thank you very much, Adrian. That's a thumbs up for you there. You're being
I
someone out there
appreciate it. Thank
telling
you
you
very
that
much.
keep it up, keep the
Yeah, thank you
fire,
very much,
keep
bro.
bringing the information. And then there's Nondo Chomba. Hey guys, just started following. Oh, Nondo, and it's actually there's a question that actually I want to post. concerning girls
Mm.
that
Okay.
are venturing in this field of nuclear science. I would love you guys to also give your thoughts on that. And actually, I'm going to ask that question as we come to the end of the broadcast. Chomba, Nondo, thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate, and again, we really, really love the fact that ladies, a female like you, are actually venturing in these fields. Really, really impressed with that. The next Marie Curies of our generation. So there's Gift and Lovu. Again, Gift and Lovu supporting again. Thank you very much, bro, for the support. Really, really appreciate. Philip Kaoma, amazing stuff, Kale Bunemo, and others. Thank you very much, bro. Without you guys, we wouldn't be able to have such live streams. It's because of you people that we are able to have these interesting broadcasts. Okay, so guys, we just read out the comments, and you can see people actually following and people are loving the program. And actually giving you a go ahead, telling you go go, which is very interesting. So, guys, the next question that I want to ask is actually a question of concern. I think this is the question that we must actually address. Why
Okay.
invest in nuclear science? You know, we've got hydroelectric power. I know you guys have mentioned the importance of of nuclear science. You know, we've got power already here, and we've got other fields.
Okay.
You know, but why should we really really invest? Mr. Dean, pick it up from there, and then Edwin comes in.
Okay. That's a very nice question, and I was looking forward to such type of questions. Okay,
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
try to make my answers as brief as possible. Okay, so
Okay.
far, the world is usually run by two major electricity, which is either hydro or nuclear. Now, we are also having issues of global warming. These are coming in, and global warming is changing everything. Now, if I were to analyze so far all the types of energy creation, nuclear is the best. Because,
Okay.
first of all, let us start with countries that chose to go the other way around. Like Germany, for instance. Germany chose to depend on wind and solar panels. Now, these things depend with weather. So, Germany, in order to back up the electricity that they are losing, or maybe to try and create enough electricity, what do? They also introduced gases, like they are using fossil fuels to produce in times when they don't have electricity, meaning they are producing more carbon dioxide again, contributing to the problem that we already have, bringing another problem. And also, all of these contribution all together, they are making prices. Like if you check prices of electricity in Germany and try to compare it to France, you find out it's kind of expensive in Germany because of what they are doing. Now, this also is another disadvantage because if a country like Germany is going through such thing, and Zambia, us who are now almost used with load shedding, we try and go that way, that would be horrible because majority of our people are also low in terms of income, and also we are still having problems. Then as for hydroelectric, it was one of the great ideas, but as we have seen in the recent years and the years to come, because global warming is not going away so soon, it is becoming even more terrible. So we need electricity that doesn't depend on weather. One electricity that will be sure, come rain, come sunshine, everything will be all right. That is the only thing that is there on the market. The only thing that is there given with certainty is nuclear. There is no other way. Unless for some of the experiments that are being done, and these experiments so far, there is nothing on the market of them. And I don't know, but because of time, I would have loved to try and go into analyzing the other types of electricity and also analyzing to compare nuclear itself. And anyway, uh, because of time, unless if you would like to find out more, you ask.
Okay, you know, since we're actually having a lot of these broadcasts, and you know, we're really, really going to continue on this because we've got a lot of things to talk about, and you guys are going to be back on this platform again. So I think maybe we may spare that for some other day, because believe me, there are a lot of
Yeah.
things that need to be addressed, and there are a lot of things that people want to know. So, Edwin, the same question that I asked Dean, your perspective concerning this question.
Miles, thank you very much for that interesting question. And Dean, thank you very much for that impressive answer. Yeah, that's a great answer. Yeah, but to add on from, or to start from where Dean ended, I would say going nuclear is not as a means of eradicating other energy sources like solar, hydro, and what, no, but rather as a means of sustainable energy mix. I repeat, energy mix to power Zambia's economy, which is actually in line with the seventh National Development Plan and Sustainable Development Goal number 3, which actually talks about sustainable energy. Yeah, so
Wait, wait, wait.
I'm sure he's having challenges with his network. I'm really having challenges with his network. So I don't really see how. Yeah, I think he has a problem with his network. Zambian networks, Problema- too problematic. Yeah. So, Dean,
Yeah.
maybe as we try to bring him on board, maybe as he's trying to reconnect, maybe just picking it up from where he's ended. If you would continue from where he stopped.
Okay, that's a nice privilege. Okay, so one thing I can say is going forward in the future, we need as much help as we can get. So this means we have to explore all types of energies, and solar also is important, even though even it has a lot of disadvantages, but anyway, it can still help in some cases. And so we need to incorporate everything. This is type, it's more of like the future. We need as much electricity possible because everything depends on electricity. You start with the hospitals, our homes. There's nothing that we can do without electricity. Electricity has become everything, starting from our phones, even mobile money. We all need electricity for that. So we
Yeah,
need
true,
as
true.
much electricity as possible. But that's not the only thing. We also need storage for electricity and other things. So far, I would say it would be best we have the nuclear plan as for in
Mm-hmm.
case. I would even recommend uh, we majority of the investment be placed into nuclear because this is where revolution starts.
Okay.
Because yeah,
Okay, so Dean, I'm actually received some. I've actually received some questions here, but I'm trying to make
yeah,
sure that
yeah,
Edwin is back on the program. But I really don't know. It could be his network has got a problem. Okay, so there's a question that has been asked here. I think you can see the question here by Timothy Musos. And nuclear is the goods, but very dangerous. What measures are you willing to put in place to arrest the risks? Very yet again, I think this is a very,
yeah,
very
yeah, yeah.
interesting question. Huh?
It
Very
is
interesting
it
question.
is a very interesting question. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
thank you, my brother, Mr. Timothy, for that question. Okay, so first thing I would try and analyze the dangers, and also I would also try and analyze the things that we put in place. So, but I won't say much. If you want to find out like how the story of nuclear power plant being idealized as these big bad evil things, you should just follow a certain guy. His name is Michael Stellenbeck. Yeah, he's one of the people who started the project, the solar panel project in California. He will tell you because even them when they sat down, they just saw nuclear is the only way out now. But let me start with the dangers that most people speak of as the dangers, which for me I might say, in as much as they are dangers, they are also the solution. Number one
Okay.
is nuclear waste. I'm sure everybody talks about nuclear waste. That's the story everywhere. Okay, so ideology or ideologically, as some say, what usually comes out of a nuclear reactor, usually three things. If I were to categorize that, removing the neutron first, I'm just talking about the byproducts that we take. So there is plutonium, and there is uranium itself, and there is also what we call byproducts of the reaction. And majority of people, the whole world, is scared of the fact that there is plutonium, because we all know what is associated with plutonium. It's bombs. So most of the countries are not allowed. They are not allowed, like us, the countries from the third world, and even those who are venturing. So such type, the nuclear waste, we don't keep it ourselves. Actually, what we'll be doing is we'll be selling it to people who can handle it. But
True.
as we say, nuclear waste, but they are not really waste, because plutonium itself, it is one of the most vital elements. But anyway, we won't deal with it because people are still scared of it. Even uranium, like if you were to take the whole uranium, what we usually use up sometimes is more of like 5%. So like majority of the uranium is still there. So that same thing in the nuclear waste, they go, if you take it for recycling, even nuclear waste can be recycled. So when they recycle it and enrich the uranium, the same uranium, that's what they bring to sell again. So even as if we were to use this science nicely, we start recycling our own waste, we can be selling this uranium, and that's a lot of money for us. And the nuclear waste, okay, most people or most companies don't do this because it's too expensive, but I can't say it is really as waste, because there are so many things that we do with the nuclear waste. First of all, there is some of you, if you would like, just go and search for nuclear waste batteries. You'll find out these researchers are there. You can create a battery using the same nuclear waste. But these batteries, we don't usually use them where people are, because we are scared some people with evil thoughts might use it for wrongdoings. So companies, big companies like NASA, use it to use these nuclear batteries in space exploration and stuff like that. And by the way, these batteries can last for about 27,000 years. They're just there. And these are very without being charged. And this is the type of batteries we need in Zambia. And then also there is what we call vitrification. Vitrification, it is also expensive. That's why most big guys, or like the USA, instead of them vitrifying or recycling this waste, because they are scared that they'll lose more money, that's why they just take all the waste and put it together and dump it somewhere, because it requires a lot of money. We take the same waste, we turn it into glass. When we turn it into glass, it releases less radiation. Now, talking about the dangers itself, I would say, do you know that in a nuclear power plant, there is less, in fact, the amount of radiation dosage you get at the food market is more than the one that you get at a nuclear power plant. The reason is that in a nuclear power plant, everything is constructed to block radiation, so that even when you are in there, the radiation that you might even get is even very small. Now, there is no protection from radiation. I'm sure we are all clear about that, because everything releases radiation. Even our own human bodies release radiation. The mangoes we eat, everything has radiations. So the dangers about the nuclear power plant, everything about the nuclear power plant is not that risky. Now, the risk always comes in because of four things. Now, this is where now the measures are being put in. The first thing is what we call what I can call it as human ignorance. Okay, so this is where you put people who are not qualified to do the job. Now, as we say, no matter how protected something is, if somebody is not educated about it, this might cause a disaster. So, in order to stop this, what they usually do, like if you start learning about nuclear, here we are taught about all the possible incidents. In a nuclear reactor, there is more of like the core, which has the reaction might just be small like this. Then that whole building, all of those, that building has backup plans. So in case, if this fails, there is something else to stop it. If that fails, there is something else to stop it. If that fails, just like that, if everything fails, also there is before a person operates in a nuclear power plant, they are usually taken to simulators. These simulators, they are designed to show all the possible flaws. So in this simulator, you experience how nuclear reactors go bad. So in that same simulation, you have to learn how to control such a situation. So for a
Okay,
person to
Dean.
graduate,
Before
okay,
before you proceed, actually, this discussion is very interesting. Huh? So there's a question that the guy is floating in. Timothy Musoza. He says, uh, "Love the measures, but pardon me, I'm an electrical engineer by profession. The measures you've highlighted are on byproducts handling by products. I want to refer to what happened in Chambeshi Pilgrim explosive. It's almost a similar chain reductive reaction. Are you able to read the question that
yeah,
Timothy
yeah,
Musos is
yeah, yeah,
asking?
yeah. That's a nice question. Okay, that's a nice question. Okay, for now, I would say there we don't have to worry much. But anyway, as I say, the most surest assurance answer will be given after the whole deal is done, when we know for sure what will happen. But the people who will be in charge of the transportation and things like that, I don't think it will be Zambians. It will be the Rosatom guys. So in short, the Russians. So these people have experience. They have been doing this almost since 1990 something. I mean, since 1960s. So these guys, they have a lot of experience. So I'm sure they will cover it up. And I don't think there is any country in the world that has faced nuclear calamities like Russia. So these guys, they know what they're talking about. And also, that's not the only issue, because don't forget, nuclear things are so sensitive that the whole world is really, really attentive to such matters. So if anyone is making a nuclear power plant, or anyone is planning to be transporting nuclear materials or anything dealing with nuclear, this is what I would say. There is what we have, the International Atomic Agency. They will all be on you. All big countries, America, Germany, what, everybody will be monitoring. Even our own neighbors, Zimbabwe, what, if anything goes wrong, even if just 1 millimeter of uranium is missing from the package, this information will be sent all over the world, meaning we will have a lot of professionals coming from all over the world to come and assist. So, meaning in terms of that scenario happening, I don't think it will be much of scary, because everybody will be watching. Even the whole villagers themselves, or maybe the people, or the citizens, or the city guys. So yeah, I don't think that will happen much.
Okay, so it seems like Timothy Musso is actually giving out a laugh out loud. Maybe not convinced. I'm trying to, if possibly, if I may make him join the meeting so that maybe he may give his view. I don't know if
Okay, maybe.
Timothy Musso's, if you're actually watching, I've actually pasted the link of the StreamYard link in the comment section. You can actually join and maybe ask your question personally. Maybe
I
you can
see.
join us on this. You can join us on this platform. So I've posted a link in the comment section. Timothy, if possible, kindly join us and maybe just throw in your views as well. I would really, really appreciate. So Dean, actually, before maybe he joins, that's it, he's going to join us. Is Zambia ready for a revolution in this space? Like as a
Okay.
country, how prepared are we? Are we ready to venture into nuclear science? How ready are we as a country to go into nuclear science, to venture into nuclear science? Are we ready as a country? Is this the time for Zambia? Like, how ready are we? I believe this is a massive revolution in terms of science advancements, especially in the science sector of our country. But how ready are we? When I talk about being ready, I'm looking at it from a perspective of, financial wise. I look at the sector, engineering sector. How many people are ready for this revolution in this country? How ready are we? You, as a person who's studying this course, actually, how confident are you? Do you feel we are ready to venture into this space?
Okay, that's a very tricky question and a nice one. And to tell the truth, I don't know if I'm the right person, or maybe I might be in the right shoes to give a proper answer for that. But if it
Okay.
is on my own side of the story to give, or maybe my own part of the story, the thing is, what I believe in is sometimes, most times, in fact, if not every time, we are never ready to do something until we do it. So, in short,
Okay.
Zambia is facing so many issues. We have so many problems. And also, not venturing it won't help. It's like if we say, okay, we are having money issues, the money we have is little. Let us wait until we have a lot of money. Now, the thing is, the more we grow, the more things will be coming. So, we will never have enough money for everything. That never happens. Even the superpower states themselves never have enough money. But the little that we have, we can save. I believe we have a national budget. If we can state like this portion of the budget will be going to this research, I believe Zambia is ready for that. But in terms of trying to sponsor it at a go, I don't think it will be very easy for us. But everything is possible because we have the knowledge, we have people who are well educated, and also if we don't, we will still send more to be educated. So for me, I would say the only way we can know if we are ready or not is when we start doing it. That's the only way we can know.
Okay. So I don't know, Timothy Muso. It seems like he's an electrical engineer, and he's trying to debate and look at it and say, okay, which one is actually good? He's looking at hydroelectric power, and he thinks it's actually the better alternative. He's actually bringing in some good questions, and he's asking another question here, saying, after generation. Okay, but I really don't know if this is for you, Dean, because I feel this question is very big. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
think someone who's actually aspiring for for such a cause would actually answer this question. He says, after generation, how do you plan to feed into the national grid, and at what electrical voltage? Oh, okay. I don't really know. Dean, would you actually have an answer to that? Maybe would you
Okay.
answer?
I won't answer directly, but I can refer him to the right people to give such an answer, and that
Yeah.
is Zamatom. I'm sure
Okay. Yeah,
you have the
Zamatom.
link. You can give him the link. You can ask them exactly to give him about the voltage. And
Okay.
but this I might say is so far we have been relying on electric engineering for so many generations, and the HEP system that we have been doing, the hydroelectric, is seemingly starting to fail us. So right now, looking at the fact that is bringing the issue, it's weather, and the weather problem is not going. And the only thing that we have that we cannot complain about weather, it's HEP. I mean, it's the same thing, atomic energy.
Yeah,
So
true.
for me, I believe atomic energy is the future because, first of all, it doesn't rely on the same environmental changes and stuff like that. Maybe I don't know if I've answered this question, but on the certainty of voltages and stuff like that, I can give you, but the answer that I might give you, it's not exactly like what they can give you there. And as I said, I'm also studying. I'm not the one ahead of this topic or the project. So those who are ahead of the project, they have their own plan. And even us, we are being fed part of that plan, not the whole plan. So If you would like to find out more about how the plan is going, I would suggest you visit Zamatom, or maybe you inbox them. That would be the best thing to do.
Yeah, okay. Interesting stuff out there. Really love the show. And we're almost clocking an hour, but before we actually come to an end of our broadcast, and so unfortunate that Edwin couldn't rejoin us because of poor network. But I've really loved most of the questions. Timothy Musos, thank you very much for the questions. Thank you very much for joining us on this platform and just for supporting the work that we are doing at Science Exploration in Zambia. And now, Dean, there's something that I really wanted to address before we actually come to an end. Nondo Chomba, someone that I know very much, actually brilliant young lady, and one of some of the ladies that I know that are venturing in this field of nuclear science. So I'd love to. What's your take on this feminist approach of the nuclear science? Feminists, these females that are going into nuclear science. How is it? Do you think is it manageable? Because if we get back to history, some of Marie Curie discoveries, it in element polonium and some sort of other element which actually gave her
International recognition.
yeah, which actually gave Marie Curie an award both in physics and in chemistry. She did some discoveries of two elements which actually gave her a pretty good award.
Okay, I think maybe that means I should start answering that question. Okay, regarding the question you are asking, I think my answer would be that's a nice idea, and I'm supporting that same idea. And quite all right, there are so many girls here, and majority of them they are doing very well in class. And hey, we all need everyone on board, male, female, anyone, so long as they can give us an extra pair of hands and eyes and brains also. So yeah, it's a good idea that even the girls are into the program. Yeah, I don't know what just happened with the tech. I hope the host will be back in no time. Okay. I hope people are still listening out there. Maybe just some advice to majority. I would advise we all try and venture into this. This is a nice program. Okay, the host
Okay.
is back.
Yes, Dean. Sorry, I actually had a problem with my network. Yeah, so I was
Okay.
asking, I was asking a question to say, how do you think girls can perform in these fields? Like in terms of, a lot of girls have been discouraged over the years, but again, they've got inspiration from people like Marie Curie. Actually, she did very well in this field, very well. And there are also some notable people in Africa that have done well in this field of nuclear science. Again, there's a certain
Yeah,
lady, a Zambian. I don't know. She got something like is it
PhD.
nuclear physics and PhD. And
Yeah,
there's
something
another
like that. Yeah.
notable lady in the SA in South Africa. She's also very good at this nuclear thing. So I'd just love you to give your thought. What's your take on this? Can girls really manage? There's always that, discouragement from girls, biasness. No, it's only for boys. But maybe your message to the females and the girls that are actually venturing in this field of study.
Okay, I think I'll have to repeat this again so even the host might hear this. That's a
Okay.
nice idea. Uh, the thing is, girls, I would advise you to continue. Here we have a lot of girls like from Zambia, and majority of them are doing pretty well actually. Sometimes most of the guys, we are even trying to catch up with the girls. But yeah, there is more hope, and it's a good thing that even them they venture into this. We can use an extra pair of hands, eyes, and also minds also.
Yeah, okay. Interesting.
Okay,
So
I think our brain that sent
Timothy,
another question.
Tim- Timothy
Okay,
Musos, I love this guy very much. I would really love to
yeah,
have him on this
yeah,
platform. So we just
Okay.
have this discussion. But maybe this is our last question that or concern that we're taking in, and then we're going to end the broadcast. So he says, why am I
Oh.
concerned about the dangers that come with the nuclear power? It's believed that it comes with risks of cancer to the population near the plant. So does it mean you will set up the plant in in the out in the outskirts of the city? Maybe quickly, Dean, and then we wrap up our podcast, our discussion for today.
Okay. I would love to refute that claim, but uh, the thing is, quite all right. Yes, there might be some claims of risk of cancer, but I don't. If you are to check on the list, there are just a few who are recorded to have complained about that, and maybe that is maybe due to some incidental failure. But cancer itself, the way we treat cancer, it's because of the same nuclear science. When we are dealing with cancer, there are these therapy. If you want, you can do a research about them. There's what we call brachytherapy. This one, it's another one. There's also where we use the proton accelerator. Okay, majority of all these ways of curing cancer, it is because of nuclear science, the same thing that we are trying to say it's bringing the cancer. But actually, it is the cure for cancer. So, about the nuclear power plant, I'll just say, just like Mr. Msiska said, we can't give an exact location because for some reason we are trying to keep it down on the ground. But one thing I know is we can't make a nuclear power plant in the middle of a city where people are all busy there. So I'm sure we shall choose a site which is better and quieter and nicer so that it won't interfere with so many people.
Okay.
But exact location, I'm not even authorized and I don't even know where it will be.
Okay. So, I really don't know, but it seems like Mr. Timothy Musos is trying to actually prove a point. He's saying, when next is the broadcast? We argue nicely. it's
Nice
our
one, nice one.
it's
I
it's
love
our
your,
argument. It's not
I
okay.
love
So
your enthusiasm.
I will actually try to get in touch with Timothy Musos and maybe
Okay.
try to bring him on this platform again. I'll try to look for a day. Maybe we might be back again this Saturday so that maybe he might have his questions addressed. It's going to be maybe a concern, the dependence of and like we've actually dependent on electrical engineers and
Oh,
hydroelectric power for over the years. So maybe now they're looking at nuclear and actually raising an argument and having an argument concerning this. So we're actually going to try to bring in a broadcast where you guys are going to be able to have a discussion and just finish this this thing off. But otherwise,
oh,
James Chilima. Okay, yeah.
before we close, I think I'll just have three things to tell my brother, Mr. Timothy. It's good first to have somebody to ask questions, and we are thankful for your participation. And also, I would like to tell you and inform you to say, don't worry if it's a profession, because even your course is also covered up in our course or in our program. You are also welcomed. I'm sure you guys will be employed more also. Then also, on the part of the rumors about nuclear things, just trying to give you a bit of the source of how this whole nuclear exaggeration began. I will tell you, just do a research or just start listening to the presentation given by Michael Sherenbeck. Okay, you will find out those people that were busy talking against the same nuclear power plants, majority in America, immediately after the Three Miles explosion, and also those movies they were acting like the nuke. Okay, all of those movies. After that, after they started closing the mines, what did they do? They started opening power station which lands on gases and fuels. So in short, like they wanted this sector to be closed so that they opened this sector. So in that part, you also look at the people who were sponsoring him. you will find out that this competition, it was more of like business rather than concern. And to put on business, it's because this guy was part of the people who are sponsoring the same nuclear. The guy of the name is Brown. He's David Browns. Yeah, that is the guy who started the campaign against the nuclear power plants. Not the nuclear power bombs, but nuclear power plants. He started by comparing them like a bomb and stuff like that. So the guy was chased out of the group. When he was chased out of the group, he started working with people to fight against what that group was doing. So that's where even most of these exaggeration came in from, and stuff like that. But anyway, I would love to to have the conversation nicely, and also maybe I'll look forward to the next broadcast.
Okay, so everyone who's been watching, thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. Again, it was yet another exciting episode of one of these interactive sessions, and today it was actually hot in here because there's a guy by Timothy Musozo was actually firing in questions and just trying to make an inquiry, which is again very good. People are supposed to be clear and are supposed to know. And to Dean Sichilima, bro, thank you very much for joining us on our platform. We are very grateful and we're looking forward to having you again. And to Adrian Sumfukwe, who couldn't continue with us, due to network failures and other problems. Hopefully we're going to be back again so that we just expand our discussion and just discuss further. But to everyone who's been watching, thank you very much. God bless you. Continue supporting us, checking out our platforms, checking out announcements and everything. We are very grateful for the support so far. God bless you. And Dean, before you go, maybe you'd love to tell the viewers a few words, and then we'll be able to end the broadcast.
Okay, my message to the viewers is, first thing, we as a country, we are facing so many challenges, and we have to do whatever we can do and help in whatever way we can help to make the country grow. Let us not try to bring each other because of business, but let us try and see on the good part of the country. Then also the other part is, let us keep on commenting and also adding more issues. This will bring more stories to the table. Remember this always. The only way we can overcome our fears is by facing them. The only way we can rise from a third world country to a first world country, it's when we start dealing with what we are scared of. Most of us, we are scared of entrepreneur, we are scared of venturing into new programs like this. We are scared of such big projects. And if we continue being scared of this, we are going nowhere as a country. The only way to rise against poverty is to confront the poverty. Salam.
Okay, thank you very much, Dean. God bless everyone that was watching. We are very much grateful. And to Dean, yet again, thank you for coming in, sparing your time despite your busy schedule, and just coming on this platform, airing your views, and just pouring out yourself. We are very grateful. And to everyone who's been watching, God bless you. We've come to the end of today's broadcast. Watch out for another announcement when we're going to be having yet another exciting broadcast. It's been Caleb, Dean Sichilima, Adrian Sumfukwe, and it's been Science Exploration Zambia. Have a good and lovely day.